Angie, yes, people. Bloody hell, that's not Richard Hughes, that's not Michael Hughes, as Chin says. Here we are, people. The guys who were guessing that who's gonna be back, which OG. There's only one legend. There's only one legend. And there's only one OG. There's a few OGs actually, but Jake is in that proper illustrious group when it comes to being our contributors. And just like Vansh says, is he alive? That's what we've been asking. Is he alive? I've been asking him, find him. We need to find him. The man is lost. We sent Avi to around the world. When we told you that he's on a cruise with his missus, he wasn't. We sent him on a mission to go find this one. And we won't tell you where we found him, who he was around on a beach in Colombia. I'll just stay shut there. But welcome back to our friend, to our brother, our long lost brother. And I've asked you a few questions over the last couple of hours, but I'll ask the same questions for the chat. Jake, where the fuck have you been?
Listen, there's not a lot to show up for over the course of the last 6 months, if I'm being honest. I have been away for sure. I've still been around in the sense of obviously following the club. It's been a terrible, however many months that it's been as far as supporting the team and supporting the club. But it's great to be back. It's great to see you guys as always. It's nothing short of a pleasure to spend time with you guys on the show.
Yeah, can I ask you a question before you go? What the fuck brought you back?
I will tell you guys.
We put 6 Pascara bag.
Actually, that came back before the game.
He did.
Show, obviously, he did. But I contacted you before the game. I came back before the game. What brought me back, and I'll be honest with you guys. Specifically, what brought me back have been the last couple of press conferences from the manager, and what the manager has been saying for me is mind-boggling, number one. And up until not last night's press conference, but the press conference before that, I had full support for the manager. I thought he was the right man for the job for now. If you would have asked me for next season, I might have given you a different answer. But for now, I always thought this is the man for the job for the remainder of this season. But now, as I'm listening to him speak, I can't justify what he's saying, and I can't even comprehend the reason why he's saying what he's saying. But what I do know is I've given up hope on the guy. I think he doesn't believe in himself. And if the manager doesn't have hope and belief in himself, how can I believe in him if he doesn't even believe in what he's doing? And I think he's lost complete confidence in himself. The comments particular that he's stating as far as we've won 2 domestic titles, at least league titles, that is, in 30 years. And just yesterday, 2 years ago, we were knocked out by Atalanta in the round of 16 or whatever the case is, in Europa League, whatever the case was. These comments to me is just mind-boggling. I can't understand why he would make these comments. I can't find any benefit to what he's trying to achieve. And I think the only thing I can conclude with, and I don't even think it's working because it's definitely not working with me, is he's looking for some compassion from the fans. But he's not getting any compassion from anybody. He's not getting any from me. I think he's lost hope. I don't think he has any confidence in himself. That's why I think he's trying to buy himself some more time. But if he doesn't believe in turning this ship around, I've given up hope on the lad. I'm ready to move on.
Big up Jamie, who's in the chat. But let's rewind. Because last time we saw you, we were breaking transfer records. You were buying Isak tops.
I was buying Isak tops. That's correct. I haven't had a chance to wear it once. I swear on God, I haven't even put the fucking bastard on one time this season.
But just like Isak, you disappeared as well. This is your preseason now. We're giving you preseason, Jake. But we have to rewind. We have to rewind because it's not all the manager's fault, Jake. We'll come to the manager in more detail later on. But what the hell has gone wrong with Liverpool? When we used to be good, Jake.
We used to be very good. And listen, I've seen all the chatter. I'm still following the club. It's not like I've been gone and I have no idea what's happening. You can miss me. And I told this to Cheen the other day when I spoke to him on the phone. You can miss me with whatever excuses you want to make as it pertains to Michael Hughes. Let me make that clear. Michael Hughes, okay? you can miss me with that. Let me tell you why.
You coined it now, Gene.
I'm not sitting here pretending as if we have a perfect squad. I'm not sitting here pretending as if we don't have holes in the squad. All of these things are true. But we all sat here when the transfer market was closed. There wasn't a single soul, myself included, none of you guys, nobody in the chat, that thought we were anywhere close to this horrendous. If you would have told us we would have a little bit of a drop off because we have X amount of new signings and it'll take a little bit of time to reintegrate, fine, we would buy that. But for us to fall this far from grace, there is absolutely no way you can blame the level of this failure on management. You can blame them for a couple of positions here and there. But realistically speaking, our back line, for the most part, until recently, has been healthy. It's not like the drop off in the play just started when we started losing some of these players like Konate, like Gomez. These guys have just been missing recently. Some of them, yes, a little bit earlier. Maybe Connor Bradley. And we had some injuries here or there at the start of the season. Isak went down, obviously. But we've been shit since the season began. If you really want to be real about it, we weren't very good from opening day. Yeah, we won the first 5 games, but we know how those first 5 games were won. And even if you want to disregard those, we couldn't even get, through 6 or 7 games without falling off the stratosphere. So what I'm trying to say is you can blame the management. I'm not saying management doesn't deserve any blame. But what I'm telling you is that there's no way anybody's going to be able to convince me that they deserve the bulk of the blame. Absolutely not. If you want to talk about the position that we're in right now and we're struggling because of injuries and we have no back line, okay, fine. You can blame them for now. Moving forward. We're already in 6th position right now.
So you're saying the bulk of the responsibility lies with the manager?
1,000%.
Do
you want to tell me when the transfer market closed, your opinion or Cheen's opinion or anyone's in the chat opinion was we're a 6th place team on January 29th? Nobody thought that.
100%.
In terms of percentage, Jake, okay, then who would you say is at fault in terms of the ownership? Let's say Hughes and Edwards, the ownership, then it's the manager, the players. In terms of percentage, who would you rest the blame on in terms of numbers?
90% on the manager, 90. And you can put the other 5% on the players and another 5% on upper management.
I disagree. I think you're going too far. I think you're giving Michael Hughes too much of free ride, Jake. I think left the manager seriously short in the summer.
Nobody said that. You say that now, but you're only quantifying that when the transfer market was going on.
You're only quantifying that as 5%.
I am only quantifying it as 5%. You can go up to 10%, 20%. It makes no difference. Whether you were talking 80% or 90% blame on the manager, it really doesn't make any difference. If you want to tell me it's 50-50, now it's a different conversation. But the point that I'm trying to make is, and the reason why I'm putting the majority of the blame on the manager is because there wasn't one of us that said the squad is severely short and we are treading dangerous waters if we're not careful. Nobody said that. What I do recall, and I'm going to take blame for this as well. What I do recall is every single one of us saying, if we don't win the league this season, it's a failure. It's a failure given the transfer window that we've had. That's what every single one of us has said. When you say it's a failure if we don't win the league this season, that means in the back of your head, you believe firmly the squad is good enough, not just to win the league, but they should win the league. Now all of a sudden you're telling me we got a terrible squad because of upper management? No, I'm not buying that.
So what has the manager done wrong then?
I'll tell you what the manager's done wrong. And if you know, and if you remember, and I don't like to tap myself on the back too much, just a little bit.
Oh, it's
I
all
had
right.
a viral voice note
There's a few on
last
here who
year.
like to do that anyway, Jake. So it's all right.
I had a
You're here
viral voice
tonight.
note last year around this time telling you we had some issues coming along. Why? Because the opposition adjusted to how we play. And the manager recognized the problem was coming. Give him a little bit of credit for recognizing the issue was coming. But guess what, Mr. Manager? Recognizing the problem is only half the battle. If you can't fix the problem and adjust to the opponent's counterpunch, which he hasn't shown an ability to do in almost a full season, you're not cut out for the job. If we're being realistic here, this is not an issue for 10, 15, 20 games. This is an issue now pushing close to 40 games, league games. I'm not talking all competitions, 40 league games. That's a full season. How much more time does he need? He spoke about it in the summer. He said the first, and I'll explain to you exactly. Everybody understands the new manager bounce. Do you know what a new manager bounce means? New manager bounce doesn't just mean the players, are putting in more effort because you have a new manager. That's not necessarily the only meaning of a new manager bounce. You get that also. But what you get is you get new tactics. And when you get new tactics, it requires the opposition time to figure out how to break you down, how to beat this new tactic, because there's no film on what you're doing. That's what Arne Slot did last season, the first 19 games. He put the film out there, brilliant film, mind you, playing the best football in all of Europe. And it took the rest of the league, the rest of Europe, about 19 games to say, okay, this is how we need to handle playing against this Liverpool side. Since that point, and he recognized it, he talked about it in the summer. Since that point until now, he hasn't figured out a way to adjust his tactics to the way the opposition are now playing us. It's no different than boxing. You got to have a plan. It's a game of chess. You got to have a plan when you get hit in the mouth. You're going to have to adjust your plan. Styles make fights. We all know that. It's the same thing when it comes to this. The opposition has adjusted how they're playing to us. This has been the case now for almost a full season as far as games are concerned, and he hasn't figured out a way to adjust the way he plays football to counter those adjustments. That's the problem with this manager. He knows it's coming, but he doesn't know how to beat it.
Asim,
I told you this after Wolves at home last season. And you told me there was no problem. And I told you there's a problem coming. And I'm not going to take full credit because even myself, I didn't envision it getting to this point. And it got sugarcoated a little bit. We won the league. I'm not going to say we stumbled to winning the league because we didn't stumble. But the point of that is even from that point forward to the end of the season, we were nowhere close to playing the type of football we were playing the first half of last season.
But Jake, from that Wolves game, it wasn't what my point was. You were saying we got issues. I was saying he's still doing the same things that he was doing even when we were playing our best football in November and December. When we beat Real Madrid and Man City in that period of 2-3 months where we were probably the best side in Europe, he wasn't doing anything different. And if you look at that Wolves performance, then I can give you that first half against Arsenal when we were on the beach. And even though Arsenal were much better in the second half and the game ended 2-2, we ran them off the park. And they were one of our closest rivals. So you can't just pick that Wolves games. I agree with you how teams changed of the back end. And I was of the same opinion that I've been calling it out for 6 months, that teams have changed. He's been talking about it since the back end of last season, where if it was zonal and Liverpool had too much quality, the likes of Mohamed Salah having an all-timer season and Trent, I've talked about it in length. I don't need to go all over it again. But in terms of on the ball responsibilities, everything went exactly the same. Off the ball, again, exactly the same. In that exact moment, the Wolves game, Liverpool suddenly weren't doing anything different because they were still in a 4-2-4 passive block as much as when even with the best team in Europe. I was saying is that we were showing a bit of lack of physicality because we'd come out of that period of November, December, and then into January where the intensity, the Szoboszlais and everything. These guys were Szoboszlai was playing like a Superman. He ain't gonna play like Superman all across the season, just like we were seeing this year. His roles changed, but he's still doing the same amount of running. So when you say that Wolves game, I told you we've got issues. I thought Liverpool were doing exactly the same thing. That would even when Liverpool were a good side, 2-3 months before that.
But just because you set up the same way in whatever on the ball structure and off the ball structure that we play before the game, after the game, during that game, that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. What happened in that Wolves game is he sat back and he started soaking up pressure. You're up 2-0 at halftime against Wolves. The statistics in the second half were 10 shots to 0 in favor of Wolves. In my entire life, and this is not even an exaggeration, I have never in my entire life seen Liverpool outshot by any opponent. You can name any opponent in all of Europe at home 10-0. I'm not talking about a shot on target. We didn't get a shot off the entire second half. He, from that point forward, went a little bit too far to the extreme, and we know how much he can kind of overreact to try and fix issues, because he's done that even since then. He went too far to the extreme of being scared and playing conservatively to defend the lead. That's what happened in that game. The on-ball structure, the off-ball structure, all that might have stayed the same. But he had a conservative approach to playing that second half, and that's what concerned me. And since then, obviously, we've seen him revert back all the way to being hyper-aggressive, which has been an issue earlier this season. We all know that. We don't have to talk about that. Then he went back far too defensive again, and we couldn't create any chances. He hasn't been able to find the balance since the beginning of last season. So the point that I'm trying to make is that was the first warning sign for me, Wolves away, and Wolves at home. And I'm not saying that he just, made tactical adjustments, but what I did see was some significant chinks in the armor. You can't get dominated by Wolves to that extent. We were up 2-0 at home in a title race. And
that's what I mean.
We were lucky. We were
title
lucky.
Race, Jake. You can't expect someone, which team has won the title race that hasn't shown a bit of nerves?
No, that's fine. Okay. I'll give you that. Okay. I'll give you Wolves. What happened the last 40 games after that then?
Yeah, because we were
40 games since then to fix it. League games. I'm not talking all comps, all league games. He hasn't been able to fix it.
We were on the beach. My point is,
he's talking about next season's game.
Well, my point is, he didn't do anything. Jake is saying he changed at Wolves. I'm saying he didn't change. Tell me one thing that he changed, and I'll believe you.
He went conservative. He started defending the lead.
We the first thing in preseason, before we kicked the ball in anger, we were saying this guy likes to play a bit of control. When you play in control, it's not just about in possession, but it's also about off the ball. So he'd like to control the game with and without possession.
There is a lot of truth in what you're saying. I'm not even going to suggest that isn't true. There is truth in that. And there were signs before that game that, yes, he was trying to teach this team how to play without the ball. The biggest concern is, and it's still the problem now, a year later, we are not a team that is good sitting in a mid block or a low block. We're not, for whatever reason, however you want to describe it. We lack composure. Huh?
Sorry, what was the point?
We're not a team that is good sitting in a mid block or a low block. You can maybe name one or two instances this season over the course of last season where, we put on a performance. Maybe Inter Milan away, maybe Madrid where we did a little bit of soaking up pressure, but we had a lot of possession in that game. Maybe a few other games, maybe Arsenal this season where they dominated the first half and they didn't score. You can maybe name on a handful of instances where we're sitting in a mid block and the other team has the ball and we're soaking up pressure where we're doing a good job. The point that I'm trying to make is we're not good at that. So you shouldn't ask your team to do too much of that, not 45 minutes worth of doing that. That's the problem that I have with him. If you go back to before we hired this guy, we were playing basketball with Jurgen Klopp, and all of us said you know what? We need a little bit more control. We need a manager that's going to come in here and possess the ball. And everything that everyone said was, this the manager that wants possession of the ball. So now all of a sudden you're up 2-0 at Wolves and you don't want the ball anymore? No, that doesn't make sense to me.
Guardiola went to Arsenal this season and parked a coach, never mind a bus. The pioneer of positional play.
But listen, I'm not just talking about one game here.
And I'm saying that wasn't a man. Sometimes in the title race, Jake, you can't expect every game to be the same. They get a goal and his nerves.
That's exactly what he was last season.
He's not mentioning one game, Asim. He's saying,
I'm not mentioning one game. This is
going on
from
saying that was the
now.
You know where you're wrong. Where I agree with you, but you haven't mentioned that point, is a couple of games. I don't know exactly where it was. I probably have to go the first game. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. But at the back end of last season, teams probably started playing Liverpool. They thought, okay, they won the league. Let's start playing Liverpool next season because we need to come up with a plan. And what Liverpool haven't found a solution. Let me rephrase that. What Arne Slot hasn't found a solution for is how teams have changed up. Just like I touched on, is they were zonal and we had too much quality. Salah, Diaz, Trent, especially. Now, Liverpool teams have gone against us. How do you beat Liverpool? If they come to the halfway line, we're going all in a low block because they don't have the quality to press us. This is this season to create enough and get in behind us. And they don't have the creativity from deep. Hence why we've seen a million things going on the back line. And I've been calling it that we don't have enough progression from behind. And Liverpool have had to commit too much. And that's why we've been getting caught on the counter. And that's why he went conservative, just like you touched on a couple of months ago. But the other main reason is teams went man-to-man against us. And Liverpool haven't coped. Because when you go man-to-man, it gets a lot more stretched, a lot more physical. It's all about duels, and it's a lot about physicality. And then the introduction of where the league has gone in terms of free kicks and this and that. Maybe not as much as in the back end of last season, obviously going into it, but it was still a massive integral part of the league. Just ask Arsenal fans. But that's where Liverpool, for me, haven't found. It wasn't the Wolves game where Liverpool just sat back for a bit because it was 2-0 and they showed fatigue and they showed nerves as well. Remember, we only won the league in 30 games, or 2 in 5, as the slot says these days. Used to say, I beg your pardon. That's where Liverpool have found it difficult. It wasn't that half an hour where they just suddenly got a goal through Cunha, or even before that, where teams thought 2-0, let's have a goal. You can't judge it on that half.
Fine. Okay. That's what you always tell me. Okay, that's fine. You don't want to count that game as the turning point. You don't have to pick that game. The point of the conversation remains the same. He lost his way, whether it was that Wolves game or pick any other game between last season and now, and he hasn't been able to figure it out. That's the point of the conversation.
I agree with that. I've been screaming that as well.
I agree with that. You can't disagree with it because we've been shit for 40 games. So the point of the conversation is he hasn't been able to find the proper way.
He's back, Gene. He's back. Carry on, Jake. Sorry, man. Okay, now it's been 23 minutes and Gene has spoken. Wow.
I'm just fucking on his back.
Jake, I didn't want to do this much talking. I wanted to listen to you. Well, you asked me a question, so I had to, come into the discussion. But go ahead, man. You were in full flow.
At the end of the day, because it's more than just one problem. And he's gone conservative. He's gone ultra aggressive. He's gone possession. He's gone defensive. He's tried everything, and he can't find a solution. So now he's trying all sorts of different tactics, and none of them are working for him. Whereas the first 19 games of last season, it seemed like every single move that every single button that he pushed, every single move he made was gold for the first 19 games. But since then, that magic is gone. And the point that I'm trying to make is you can go look at any type of statistical data that you want. The last 10 games, the last 20 games, the last 30 games, the last 40 games, whatever the case is, the statistics are terrible for this manager as far as how we're performing. When you couple that with the comments that he's now making in the press conferences, if he's intentionally trying to piss people off It's working because he's pissing me off. And I'm tired of supporting him. And I'm ready to move on from him, is the point that I was trying to make 25 minutes ago.
Okay. If you're Arnie Slot, actually, no, you might get pissed off if I'm calling you Arnie Slot. If you're Xabi Alonso, what would you do right now? Because you're telling me, look, I'm playing devil's advocate. People know what I think. You're telling me that this manager shouldn't be sixth, and I agree. If it's Alonso, what does he do? How does he get this team climbing up that table?
What I opened, well, maybe not open, but in the middle or beginning of what I was saying was new managers come in with new ideas, new tactics. I can't tell you what his tactics are going to be and if they're going to work or not, or what he should do. But what I'm trying to explain to you is whatever new ideas that he does have, because they're obviously going to be different than Arne Slot's ideas. Every manager has their own ideas, even if you play the same football, which they don't. Every manager has their own ideas. But the point of the conversation is that in itself is going to be enough to get us at least to the end of the season and back in Champions League qualification. Right now, the only thing that I have on my mind is we got to qualify for Champions League next season. Yes or yes. There is no other way around that. I'm not convinced that Arne Slot is going to be able to get us Champions League football next season. Now, if you tell me it's between Slot and Steven Gerrard, now we got a different conversation, because I'm also not convinced that Gerrard is going to come in and do a better job, even though he will have his new ideas, and that's going to carry us at least, a handful of games or 10 games or however many games before the opposition figures him out. But the point remains the same. You bring in a new manager, it comes with new ideas. It's going to take the rest of the league time to figure out how to play against that manager. And that is what you have on your side when you bring in a new manager.
So you're not a fan of Gerrard coming in for the interim? If I was giving you a choice,
if you would have asked me a week ago, I would have told you it's a terrible idea. Now I'm like more 50-50 because this manager is pissing me off with his press conferences. But from a tactical standpoint, you're not getting a tactician in Steven Gerrard. But what you are getting is somebody that obviously understands the club, understands the supporters, is going to be able to get a different type of energy from the actual players. Maybe that by itself is enough to carry us to the end of the season. Gerrard's not going to come in with tactics to, out football the rest of the league. That's not what's going to happen. But that doesn't mean he can't have a good spell of 20 games or whatever the case is for the remainder of the season.
Look, Asim, in terms of look, we a couple of months ago, if you said Steven Gerrard to us, we would have generally said to you no. And I think that's when most or every single person in this on this panel, on especially our channel, has always said no. But I think 95 to nearly 100% of us have changed our opinion right now and said, right, bring Gerrard in until the end of the season, simply because right now there's such a massive disconnect between the whole football club, from the fans to the players. This club needs a kick up the backside, and we need somebody who's able to do that in terms of uniting the fan base, uniting the club, and getting us hopefully towards till the end of the season, where maybe we can make up towards the a top 4, top 5 finish in the Champions League. Because at this minute in time, you've got a manager right now who Jake has alluded to, who's saying stuff which is pissing the fans off. Some people might say he's telling the truth. Some fans are saying, right, he's talking a lot of shit. Regardless, there's still a massive disconnect in there if you've got two sides to the story. And then you've got players who just, we're just not at it. It feels like we're tired. One thing that I can tell you with Steven Gerrard is he's not going to take no shit from any player not running. He's not going to take any crap. He's going to expect 110% when any player walks onto that pitch wearing that Liverpool shirt. And that is what you need to take you till the end of the season. And then, we take stock and bring in a different manager, whoever needs to come in. I'm not here for let Gerrard in for the long run. But right now, something's got to give. Because if Alonso doesn't want to come, then something has to happen. Because what will happen is we're going to turn up to Newcastle on the weekend. You get beat, and we're back to square one, man. We're back to square one. We're sat here giving the manager shit because it's only a matter of time. It's literally a matter of time until something kicks off with Liverpool Football Club, regardless of the fucking articles that come out that they're backing the manager. He's here till the end of the season. He's their man. They understand, the issues that this football club had this season. That's bullshit. If you understood those issues and if you thought it was a player problem, you would have dealt with it in the January transfer market. You haven't dealt with anything. You haven't given us anything. So surely you think this is enough, or you don't trust the manager. We heard, a week ago that murmurings that, Steven Gerrard is on standby. So if Michael Hughes and these, and I'm always going to say Michael Hughes now. If Michael Hughes and the boys, don't really want to go into their pockets because they don't trust somebody, as it does piss me off, because it's not like we need one centre back, we need three. But if we need somebody to at least give us a little bit of a kick, right? If we to get us over the line until the end of the season, then it's definitely Steven Gerrard, because we need something right now. And don't listen, guys, he's not the answer to our problems in terms of 3-4 years. No, it's only until the end of the season. People are messaging saying, "Oh no, it's a no for me." Yes, we all agree Gerrard is a no in the long run, but I think for the next 5-6 months, if we need something to get us to that point, I think Steven Gerrard is the only real candidate that's available if Alonso doesn't want the job. Because, with Carrick, one thing that I will say, Asim, you mentioned that, if Alonso came in, what could he do? The difference why Carrick came in and could make a difference, Asim, is because deep down we all knew Man United have a fucking system issue. Yeah, they're playing 3 at the back, which doesn't work. They've been playing 4-2-3-1 for God knows how many years. So if he was to revert back, that you'll see improvement. Whereas with Alonso, I don't think Alonso would go back to playing 3 centre backs at Liverpool. If he was to come, look, it's not about what system is he going to do, or he will just, in terms of tactically, set us up slightly differently and hopefully get a more tune out of these players, because you give half of these a kick with the backside, because you need, like Jake mentioned, you get the new manager bounce, and sometimes that's what you need to get you till the end of the season.
Jake, is it that bad now that it's all about uniting the fan base right now? And just secondly, like, why has this manager who won us the league a couple of months ago, 6 months ago, whatever it is, lost the connection? He probably never had the connection, but he was coming in with a massive bar. He was bloody an icon in Jurgen Klopp. But why didn't he have a proper? You don't need to tell me why. We probably know why. But like I said, he just won us the league. What has he done in the last 3 to 4 months where the fans have just lost it? Only a week and a half ago, he got booed at Anfield.
Listen, like I said, speaking about me personally, I supported him, at least to myself. I wasn't on the show. I wasn't, chatting with you guys about all of this. But in the back of my head, I was always thinking, he won us the league. He deserves a little bit more time. I'm appreciative of what he did for us last season. He's going through, some struggles right now, but he's earned the right to buy himself some more time. This is what I was thinking, I would say 2 weeks ago. And that's not very long ago. We've been struggling from the beginning of the season. So up until a week
2 weeks ago, you were backing the manager.
I was slot in 100%.
Okay.
And I thought he was going to turn this around. For other people, it's obvious why they lost him. Like some of you guys and like other people in the chat, the performances have been dreadful. The results have been dreadful. That in itself are the main reasons why people kind of lost touch with him. But he, like you said, never was in touch with the fan base. The style of football that he plays, even from the very, very beginning. I remember chatting with you where at times last season, in his first season, we would get the ball and we would have ability to turn quickly on a counter. And everybody, you're telling me everybody at Anfield is basically saying, go, 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 go. And the manager is telling the players, slow, 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 slow. So that in itself, if the results and the performances are winning, we can obviously accept it. But once the results and the performances start being boring and you're playing shit football and getting shit results, now it's a completely different story. We are dreadful to watch. We used to be the best team in Europe to watch from an entertainment standpoint. I remember so many times, and we don't have to go back to Jurgen, even last season, where I would think to myself after watching a game, thinking, my goodness, this adrenaline is ridiculous. Watching this team is like dopamine hit for 90 minutes. Now, it's the most boring thing you can think about doing with your time on the weekend. So you're going to lose the fans just based off of that. But he didn't lose me there. I still supported him. I said, let's give him more time. Even after I read so many of the tweets that were out there, last 37 games, X amount of points, they're all dreadful stats that are out there, and I continue to support him. But then when he says, comments, this is a club, we have to remember, this is a club that's only won 2 titles in the last 30 years. Okay, I hated that comment, but I didn't make a big stink about it. But then last night when he says,
why did you hate that comment when we won the league at Anfield? You stood at the halfway line and he said, look, don't judge it as like 1 in 30, whatever it is. It's 2 in 5.
There you go. 2 in 5 is okay.
Why did you hate that comment?
No, 2 in 5 is different than 2 in 30. He said 2 in 30.
No, he said 2 in 5.
He said 2 in 5 after we won the title. I'm talking about
yeah. Oh no, okay. I thought you was talking about last season.
No,
he said
2 in 5. 2 in 5, no problem. Okay, that's fine. 2 in 5, no problem. 2 weeks ago, he said something along the lines of, I don't remember, I'm paraphrasing here. We have to remember this is a club that won 2 titles in the last 30 years.
Yes.
Insinuating that we're some small club that doesn't deserve to be in title contention or whatever the hell. I don't even know what he's trying to say. Yes, what he's saying is factual. I'm not disagreeing that we only won 2 titles in the last 30 years. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you don't say that.
Pressure does funny things, Rick. Pressure does funny things.
And then last night, he made another comment very similarly. We have to remember, 2 years ago, we were in Europa League or whatever the hell he said exactly against Atalanta, whatever bullshit that he said. If he's trying to piss off the fan base, it's working. If he's trying to do something else, I don't know what it is, but it's not working. Maybe it's pressure. Maybe he's feeling the pressure, but you still can't say those things. Even if they're true, yes, they're true. But the only way you have out of this, if you're the manager, is if you have the supporters on your side. And he's losing all of them. He has no way out because he's lost everything. I can't imagine the players that are in that dressing room who had nothing to do with 2 and 30 are taking those comments lightly, because that team, the team he has right now, those players that he have right now, those are not 2 and 30 players.
Gene, plenty of people are spotting Slot in regards to what he said last season after he won the title and what he said last night. People suggesting in the chat, saying, look, people can't butt hurt or can't handle the truth. He's just trying to control. He's under pressure. Everyone knows that. He's just trying to control the narrative. But I think I disagree with the people in the chat who are actually suggesting that, is because it's not about not acknowledging a man under pressure. It's about you changing the mentality of how we should be looking at those titles or achievements. You're trying to change the narrative and the mentality of the fan base, and rightly so, because you took a lot of praise last year for that, and I loved it. And I loved it, just like I loved when he came before he won a game and said, look, yes, I haven't bought, but we finished 3rd last season, and we've got world-class players. And a club like Liverpool should be winning the league. He could easily said, no, I've come and tried to consolidate, the settling in the period. I've just followed a massive icon. He took a lot of praise for that as well. But you can't have it both ways, Sheen. You cannot.
Look, Asim, it's not that what he said wasn't true. It's the truth, isn't it? End of the day, we lost to, we've won 2 titles in 30 years. That's the truth. He's telling the truth. Did we lose to Atalanta in the round of 16 2 years ago? Yes, we did. So again, he's telling the truth, and people will say, "Oh, he's only saying he's only saying the truth." Yes, he's saying the truth, but what you have to understand is my issue with that, Jake, was, look, you've just won 6-0, right? In a Champions League game against a shit side, and isn't it a time to say, you know what, let's get behind the team, let's get behind the try to bring some sort of togetherness within this football. We've got 2 massive football games. There's actually no need for you to say that. You know, you could have said, G up the troops, let's go again, fans again, let's go 2 massive home games. Give you something to go with. By you saying that, you're asking for trouble. Because regardless of him telling the truth, yeah, he said 2-5 6 months ago. From his own words, and then to change it and say, look, it's 2-30 now. You look like a bit of a hypocrite because you said it 5 months ago. 5 months ago, you said 2-5. So why are you changing the goalpost now? Because the goings got tough. You've changed the goalpost to suit you. Fans are not stupid. I've seen fans see that, and that's why a lot of the fan base have gone for him. Look, for him saying that or not saying that, the press conferences for me ain't really a big issue. Yeah, I don't really care what he says. The writing's been on the wall for a long time. Yeah, writing's been on the wall for me for a long time. We called it out in end of November, mate. We called it out in November that, you know what, this manager, we can't see anything changing. We're starting fucking at the end of January, and we have what we've seen change. Chankla, nothing's really changed. We're playing the same fucking boring football. Yeah, we got to be aside from Azerbaijan, and after the thing you will think, yeah, we're gonna go. Avi will tell you we're gonna go to fucking Budapest and bring home number 7 now. Yeah, this is the thing. But look, as much as I am in terms of they're happy with the performance, I was actually buzzing with the performance yesterday in terms of the win. We won the game. Fucking hell, we haven't laughed all season. Yeah, so to have a laugh, you know, it was good to have a laugh for once. But now,
let me put it.
And one more thing before you go, Jake.
We can't stay on our chairs.
Avi, one more thing. You know the thing that I just want to say. One more thing. He mentioned Atalanta. Didn't he mention Atalanta? Putter Benea. You fucking mentioned Atalanta, you little rat. You might be take us into the fucking Europa League if you don't sort your shit out, mate. You come on here giving the fans shit, yeah, saying to us you're in Atalanta fucking 2 years ago. You might fucking send us back there in another 4 months the way your fucking team's playing right now. Don't fucking call for the manager then, because these were Jurgen Klopp's players. It's easy to say you were in Atalanta 2 years ago. You fucking might be sending us to the same fucking place at the end of the year. So chill the fuck out, mate, and relax. Because I don't like people, you know, when you come here and say shit, you have to fucking gaslight us. I don't like it. We can say the same thing and say, yeah, carry on playing the way you are, and you'll fucking send us to the Europa League. This Klopp didn't leave you in the Europa League. You were in the Champions League when Klopp left you. He left you 3rd. Yeah, so don't you fucking send us back to the Europa League. What you've been referencing for those 2 fucking years ago.
Jake, just in case you're thinking,
just fucking come out, man.
Jake,
I don't like it.
Jake, Gene hasn't changed, as you can tell.
let me put it to you like this.
Carry on.
Let's say we fire the manager, right? Bring in any manager that you want. You fast forward to next season.
Yeah.
Whoever the manager is, let's just use Xabi Alonso, for example. And you're playing a newly promoted side. Whoever comes up next season from the championship, and you lose or you draw to them at home. And after the game, the manager says, let's not forget, guys, we're at a club that didn't beat any newly promoted sides at home last season. So it's okay that we drop points today. No, that's not okay to say. Is it true? Yes, it's true. Is it okay to say? No, you can't say that.
Yeah. And I think that's even though he probably didn't mean it, but when you say something like that, we're going to take it as a dig to Klopp.
It's a dig to everybody.
Dig to disrespect to the fans, and it's disrespect to the previous manager. Why do you need to say that? Did you get asked about Atlanta? Did you get asked about Europa League? You got asked, how does it feel to be in the next round? And what you started with about talking about, you know, it's always good. We skipped around. He could have said we finished first this season. We finished 3rd or 4th. Where did we finish? I don't even bother looking at 3rd. Just stick to that, especially before the game. Steven Gerrard was just talking about the comments that you made in the previous press conference. Just stay low for a couple of weeks. You're under pressure. You have to pretend to say something out. Go out of your comfort zone. Bring the fans back. Because that's what
you just won 6-0, like Sheen said. Exactly. This is an opportunity to rally everybody together. And he does the exact opposite.
And the people that are saying that we're over-analyzing things, we can't handle the truth, I just think they're taking things at face value. They're taking things literally. You have to dig deeper. And someone made a good comment in the chat that, you know, your proper character comes out. You know, when they say, you know, the truth comes out, or when you're pissed, Yeah, in the same sort of analogy where, when the shit is the fan, then you exactly really find out what a person is capable of in terms of managing a situation. And all this is him lashing out.
And that gets
Lashing out. Okay, Jake, I want to ask you. By the way, we've been going in 45 minutes. People, come on. We've got Jake back tonight. Let's quickly go through a few super chats. Big up to SJ. He's saying today from Krius was the brief before the storm. If he drops points in any of the next two, he's gone. And the name I've heard tonight is Marco Silva. He's become a bit of an in-house ITK. In-house ITK. You never know. It might be Indy's burner. You never know. Hello, Indy. I hope you well. I'll message you in a bit. Muhammad Kibriya, look who's back. He goes, yes, the boys. Jake, my G, been a minute, slot in or out. Well, it took him 2 minutes to flipping go for the manager. I'm sure you worked it out by now, but big up to Muhammad. Hope you are good and the family's good as well. I want to go to a few big players. We've obviously seen the massive showdown between the manager, the club, and the player in Mohamed Salah. I want to ask you, what's gone wrong with Mohamed Salah and his form, his goals, his output, everything about him? What's your take on it?
You talking just performances, or are you talking about the whole?
Everything. Well, you've been missing for 6 months, so we need to cover 6 months. But what's gone wrong?
I mean,
is it his fault?
Is it his fault? What, that we suck? Is it all Mohamed Salah's fault that we suck? No, it's not all of his fault. But is that your question?
A lot of people are saying his legs have gone. He's finished. He's washed. Get him out of the club even before the spot.
He's not having a good season.
What's your opinion on Mohamed Salah?
Mohamed Salah is not having a good season. If you want to call him washed, you could argue that you could defend an argument to suggest that he's washed. I'm not saying that he's washed, but if you want to make that argument, it's very hard to argue otherwise because he hasn't performed well this entire season. He's had plenty of chances and moments where you think, okay, this is kind of his chance to get firing and get going, and they're simple, situations that normally Mohamed Salah would put away, and he fluffs the lines and he doesn't even come close to putting these chances away. But like I told Sheen the other day when I spoke to him, because we talked about Mohamed Salah, what he did earlier this season, okay, if you want to say what he did was wrong and out of character, or maybe not necessarily out of character, but out of order, out of line, fine. You can make that argument. But the way that the fan base reacted to a mistake that he made, I don't think was correct. He deserves way more sympathy and way more. He has much more credit in the bank from the fans for the way that the people reacted to Mohamed Salah. We have to understand what he's accomplished for this team, what he's done for this club over the course of 9 seasons. And what I find so funny right now is when all of this happened, all of the supporters that took the manager's side and said, I back Slot and we can, basically send Mohamed Salah packing, even though Salah's not performing even up until this point, you look foolish defending this manager over Mohamed Salah, because what the manager has accomplished for this club versus what that player has done for this club is light years in differences. So the point that I'm trying to make is I don't think the supporters reacted properly to how Mohamed Salah responded in those interviews. You can argue he made a mistake. Yes, if you want to criticize him for making a mistake, that's fine. But at the end of the day, he's one of our own. And he is one of the greatest players this club has ever seen, if not the greatest player this club has ever seen. And he deserves much more credit in the bank than just one very small mistake, if you ask me, that he made for people to turn their back on him in the way that he did. But if we're being fair and if we're being honest, he has not been anywhere close to Mohamed Salah this season as a footballer. He has been very, very poor this season. But that doesn't change what he's given this club over the course of the last 9 seasons.
Let's go through the team because I want your opinion on Florian Wirtz as well. We were doing cartwheels in the summer. Florian Wirtz, Gene gave him a 3 out of 10. You probably give him a 2 out.
I
No.
gave him a 3 out of 10 6 weeks ago when he was shit.
Okay, I'll get your rating later on. Florian Wirtz, we haven't seen the best of him. That's very fair. Some people are saying that he's just not fit for the Premier League because of the physicality. Are those guys jumping the gun? What's your opinion on Florian?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I mean, even at the level that he's at right now, I'm not suggesting he's at some elite level, but even at the level that he's at right now, this level, I'm not talking about the beginning of the season. I'm talking about the season, the level that he's been playing with the last, month or 2 months, whatever it is. He's playing at least good enough to warrant a position in the team. It's not like he's been dreadful. The last month or two, he's been a quality player. In some matches, he's been the best player on the pitch. He's not at that world-class level yet, but you can see the talent, you can see the glimpses. It's coming. He's only been here a little bit more than half a season. A lot of times, plenty of times, it takes players, especially from other leagues, time to adjust. We've seen it with plenty of players. We can use Kylian Mbappe just last season. He was dreadful for Real Madrid, probably the first half of the season, which is where Florian Wirtz is right now. Wirtz is not as good as Mbappe, number one. He's come to a harder league than Mbappe went to, number two. So I think it is too early, and he's playing very well. The goal that he put away last night was wonderful. I was talking to Chin on the phone just 2 nights ago, and he told me in front of goal, we need more from Wirtz. And straight away, the first chance he gets, he bangs it away. That's what we need to see from this player. So he's showing the glimpses that he has it. We know he has it. It's going to come.
Where do you see his long-term position, Jake? From wide areas coming inside? Or do you want to see Florian Wirtz from the number 10 position?
No,
because
it has to be in the 10 position.
And do we need to bring some certain profiles to give him the freedom, give him the protection for that?
I would be surprised if the new manager doesn't go in that direction. So I would say yes, to answer your question, that a new manager is going to want to bring in protection. To answer your question, I think the new manager would say yes. Me personally, if we had a better left winger, and there are plenty of people even in this group right here that hated Luis Diaz for very long, we're starting to see just how impactful he was for this team last season. But if we had a left winger worth his salt, and or Mohamed Salah was performing, I think we would starting to see a better Florian Wirtz. But it's not helpful that he doesn't have a left winger, and it's not helpful that Mohamed Salah isn't on top of his game. But the connection between him and Ekitike is brilliant.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Why are we spamming the chat? I'm going to time him out. Bloody hell, man. Okay. Any more players that we want to... Kirkez, Frimpong. If we don't want to do I know you're...
What is the Frimpong injury? Frimpong injury. Is it a hamstring injury?
It was a groin. I think it was a groin.
It looked like a groin, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's a big injury. It's a big injury because he's been hurt a lot this season.
Do you think we bring someone in, Jake?
No.
Yeah, what is this guy doing? I'm going to time him out. Wait on. I'm going to time him out. Put user. Blue Chip has got a timeout. There he goes.
I don't think we're bringing anybody. Today's already the 29th. You're telling me we're going to sign somebody in 2 days? No, I don't think we're going to sign somebody in 2 days.
No?
No.
Jin? Shall I even bother asking you that question?
I'm not as far in this stance that this squad that we have right now isn't good enough. I'm not there. I'm not saying that we couldn't use some more players. I've been talking about a center back for 3 years now. So I'm not saying we don't need a center back. We absolutely need a center back. And even if Gomez was fit, he isn't the solution at center back. But the point is, the way we are right now, with the injuries, all the injuries that we have, the squad is good enough to perform better than we're performing right now. That's all that I'm saying. It's good enough to finish in Champions League position, and it's good enough to make a run in the Champions League. When I say a run, I'm not talking about win the title, but make a run. We can beat Atletico Madrid. We can beat who's the other team that we have a possibility of playing? Juventus. We can beat Galatasaray. That's just to get to the quarterfinals. Then we get to the quarterfinals. We probably can win that matchup too. So we can make a run in Champions League with the squad we have right now. The problem
are we gonna meet in Budapest?
No, I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying.
So you don't see Liverpool making it to the final?
How can I sit here and tell you we're going to go to the final when we play absolutely shit? How can I tell you that?
Heritage.
No, I don't buy European heritage wins, trophies this season. Yes, we have European heritage. European heritage is not going to carry this team
2005
title.
The miracle of 2005. Do you believe in miracles?
I believe in miracles.
We had half of the team that we have now in 2005. So why not?
That's why I'm telling you, we can make a run. I'm not sitting here saying we're going to win the title, the Champions League title. If we do win it, of course, that would be brilliant. But I can't predict that right now with the style and the type of football that we're playing. What do we do well? Tell me what we do well. We don't do anything well. Tell me what do we do well? You turn the Liverpool game on and you say 100% we're going to do this well today. We do nothing well.
Jake, the only way we do something in the Champions League is if Florian Wirtz becomes the 10 that we know, and we think that he's going to be an unbelievable number 10 in the future. He starts playing as that player now. Mohamed Salah becomes the Mohamed Salah that we know and have seen over the last 9 years. Them two, if you ask me, and Ekatike starts fighting. If you have a forward line that's banging, right, that are on it, then you have a chance.
When is Isak coming back? Is he coming back this season?
Yes, he's coming back this season. March. And then you've got to hope that Isak comes back and he's the difference maker.
There you go. You have to live That's your way through.
That if you ask me, them 3 or 4 players are the ones that are going to win you the Champions League. Because your main players, obviously, look, defensively, Asim, yes, Anfield will always cause a problem for anybody. But can we really see Florian Wirtz really, I'm being honest here, yeah, being an unbelievable 10 from now to the end of the season? He still need time. Can we really see
what has done us over? What has done us over this season? Physicality, long throws, set pieces, all those 3 things. Generally speaking, in the Premier League, you don't get, and that's why Liverpool. It's not coincidence. Liverpool looked a better side in the Champions League. So, what we're talking about, what you said about what do Liverpool do well, is they can't control a game in Europe.
Okay, so can I just say a couple of things before we talk? Can I just speak about our Champions League run? And I don't want people to say, "Oh, look, we got beat by Galatasaray, we got battered by PSV." Yeah. So if we're honest, the 2 games out of 8 which we got drilled in. Yeah. The 2 difficult games, I think it was Atletico Madrid. I think we had an unbelievable first half. They came back. I think we won 3-2 in the end. Yeah. And Real Madrid, we won 1-0. The game against Inter Milan, it was 1-0 at the San Siro through a lucky penalty. Where, if we're honest,
we were the better team, Gene.
We were the better team, but we didn't really. Yes, we were the better team, but we didn't really.
We controlled the game. We controlled the game.
Yeah, we controlled the game better. Okay, look, I have to be honest. I'm trying to dissect the actual games itself. Yeah. And who else have we played that we beat?
Real Madrid at home.
Real Madrid, the one performance I can say we actually played well. Like James said, we were defensively, we were sound. Going forward, we were sound. We created chances. We should have scored more than we actually did in that game. So that's one real game that I can say, you know what, boys, that is the game where we controlled for 90 minutes. We were in it. Asim, group stage is a bit different. Now we're gonna see what we're about. Now, when people say, "Oh, we're better in the Champions League," we have to see where we are at in the next few games. That's what we're gonna say. That's where we're gonna see the big. Nobody gives a shit about group stages if we're honest about in the Champions League. Never really care. Nobody cares.
Time out is expired.
Time out expired. Look, honest, nobody cares about group stages because we're gonna get through the group stages. Now it's about sorting it out and trying to play and making it. Because last year we were unbelievable. Time came and we got beat by PSG. It happened.
But
this is what I'm trying to say.
Isn't how we played against? Look, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Yeah, I'm probably doing Avi's role tonight. Avi, I don't believe as much as Avi, but I do think he's got a point. Like, doesn't the second half performance against Arsenal, the most physical side in the league, one of the favorites of the Champions League as well?
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. The one argument that you can make is if we can't, I'm playing devil's advocate to the other side that I just said. If we can't win the Champions League, then who is going to win it? You have Arsenal. And just like you said, we went toe-to-toe with these guys 2 matches. We've outplayed them in large portions, of both games, and we're undefeated against them. You have Bayern, who don't look anything close to being a powerhouse in Europe right now. Real Madrid look a shell of the elite team in Europe that they typically are. Barcelona has tremendous weaknesses. PSG, the reigning champions, they also don't look like world beaters this season. So when you look at it from that lens, if a few things can go in our favor, not only can we make a run like I alluded to, then maybe, yes, there is an opportunity to win the Champions League. But if you were to ask me to predict if we're going to win it, I would say the answer would probably be no, just because the odds are not in our favor. We're not one of the top 2 or 3 favorites, but I don't think we're that far off, even as shit as we are. If we were to play those teams, we're not that far off from them. So the window is still open.
Look, I just don't think, Asim, the way I see it is when you come up against the better sides in the last stages of the tournament, I just look at this team and I think we don't have the squad to go and challenge for the Champions League, Asim. We genuinely don't. You look at our midfield, we're fucking goosed. We had a number 9 that plays for us, that number 9 yesterday. I forgot his name. He ran through us 4 times. Karabakh guy is taking the piss out of him. 3 times he walked, 3 or 4 times he went past our midfielders like they weren't even there. This is, and then you talk, we're going to play up against fucking João Neves and Vitinhas and, the likes of De Jong and Pedri and these guys. And you think, come on, man. Look, we have to be honest. I want us to win the Champions League more than anyone. But we have to be honest and say right now, can you see it happening? Fucking course not. I can't see it happening because we look a shadow of the team. That can go and win it. But look, the game isn't until 2 months' time. Like I said, hopefully in the next 2 months, we'll see, Florian Wirtz become the Florian Wirtz that we know. If Salah can start scoring a few more goals, that'll help us a lot more. Another thing, your Shea goes, I'm probably going to bring this comment up. Endo a fucking right back, boys. Come on. To be honest here, boys. I'm fair. You got fucking Gravenberg playing centre back. You got fucking Endo playing fucking right back.
Well, we don't play another Champions League game, Gene.
Yeah, in another 2 months.
Yeah,
another 2 months. They will have a fucking another 2 injuries by then because these players right now, they're gonna be goosed, man. We've been saying it since fucking November. This is what's gonna happen. And I'm not fucking trying to say I'm fucking everything I fucking said this season was right. Whatever I've called, it happened exactly to the fucking to the T, Asim.
But Jake, this is where I sympathize with the manager. I don't believe he had a squad for the Champions League and the league.
But you weren't saying that before the season.
And you have to say, look, when everyone was giving 9s and 10s out of the, I think Gene was in the show. I was saying that. Like, I'm not.
He did. To be fair,
I'm not there.
He was the only guy. I actually gave him shit.
Yeah, and that's probably why I probably went up to 8.5.
Yeah, because I did give him shit. To be fair to him, I said, "What the fuck you on about? The Windows are 9." And
I don't think this manager had a squad for the Champions League and the league. Where the league is going, the physicality. Arsenal have had loads of injuries, Jake, but no one's talking about them because they've got depth. We've got 3 injuries. Yes, they're long-term injuries, but look what he's done to our squad. Did you see our bench last night?
Yeah.
Yes, Nate's got personal circumstances, but come on, man. Even Jurgen Klopp's dad won't bloody get do with anything with that bench. Never mind Jurgen himself.
I'm not arguing against your point. The only thing that I'm saying is there's no defense for not only the performances but for the results to be this poor for this long, regardless of whether we have the squad depth for two of the bigger tournaments or not.
Hmm. You still there?
Me, yeah.
Okay. There's comment here. Disagree, Asim. We didn't have enough defenders, but we had enough of everything else. Just excuses. You sound like, no. I disagree with that, because you have to understand. Look at the condition that we bought Isak in. We were putting him through the mill to get him fit, and he got injured. Then he came back, got a goal, showed some really small signs, and then got injured again. He basically needed a pre-season. And for me, I've always been saying it is like, I don't think we would have bought Ekatike if the tragic passing away of Diogo Jota happened. I think if Liverpool, if that didn't happen,
but what's your point? Okay, it's not like Ekatike shit. He's our best player, and if not our best player, then he's our second best player.
No, because my point is Liverpool wanted the left winger. I think Liverpool would, for argument's sake, would have gone with Barcola, Rio, and Gakpo, Jota, Isak, Salah, Chiesa, Frimpong. And the point I'm making is they had to go for Ekatike because they couldn't just run with Isak. And at that point, we didn't even have Isak. And we didn't know, there was no guarantees. Just look at Mark Gay's transfer on the last day. That could have easily broken down.
But even when, and this is a counter to the point that I made earlier, I understand that. Even when we signed Isak and Ekatike, all of us said we still need a left winger. We all knew that. We all knew that in the summer.
We did. But I'm saying because of the tragic circumstances, it had to make Liverpool spend another 60, 70 million pounds. More even.
Yeah, for sure. That I won't disagree with you on. But the point that I'm making is, regardless if we have the squad, listen, we talk about squad depth every single season. That's just the club that we support. Accept it. We are never going to have squad depth. It is what it is. And guess what?
Yeah, but then no, that's not. Then if you're saying accept it, then don't complain if we can't compete into.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about squad depth. I'm telling you the squad's fine.
Oh, come on, Avi. Gene, do the lean, Gene. Is the squad depth fine at Liverpool?
Look.
When I say the squad
no.
depth is
Asim, what he's trying. 1 second. What Jake is trying to say is, look, the squad depth. Yeah. Okay, we all know Jake agreed that we were a left winger short in the summer. Because we all said it. We were probably a centre back short in the summer. Yeah, we all agree that we were a centre back probably short in the summer. Did we think that this team is still, every single one of us, good enough to go and challenge for a title? 100%. 90% of us was thinking we're going to fucking go and win it. Yeah. That's what he's trying to say. This squad, let's not make excuses and say this squad wasn't good enough to go and challenge. Let's not make excuses and say this squad problem when you're sat in 6th, when at the start of the season, that wasn't the problem. That's what I think Jake's trying to point out. That yes, the squad maybe not being, we were left short in certain areas, agreed. Yeah. We were left short. But that doesn't justify us fucking sat in 6th place.
No one's justifying 6th place. Nobody's.
That's what Jake's trying to say is, look, yes, we were short. We all know. We otherwise we wanted Mark Gay. Everybody was crying out for Mark Gay, and we were gutted when they didn't get him over the line. But the squad, this team, these players, regardless of Isak's flipping, needed an extra 2 months of getting getting fit, was still good enough to go and challenge. Okay, at least challenge. We've played shit all season. 5 first games at the start of the season were sugar-coated by late winners. Then we went on a shite run where we lost 9 in 12. Then we just played the worst football I've seen since flipping Roy Hodgson days. Yeah, and just coasted our way to where we are right now.
Are you telling me, because everything Chin just said about what I'm trying to say is 100% accurate? Are you trying to tell me that the squad isn't good enough to finish in 4th or 5th place this season? We're not good enough for that?
Of course we are. No, like I said, nobody's justifying number 6.
Okay, so pause right there.
It goes back to my initial point after your initial statement. After when I asked you how much blame are you putting on the manager, you said 90%. I do sympathize. I have to remain consistent. because I've always been talked about. I was always talking about personnel problems in this Liverpool team. The personnel problems for a yes man.
But
Let's
but
be
look,
honest, you agree with that, and not Arnie Slot's fault.
but
So
look, nobody
everyone
here.
wants Mark Gahey. Don't go Arnie Slot. Everyone wanted Semenyo in January. Wanted a backcaller. Wanted whoever you wanted. Anthony Gordon, if it's for Ben and Jean. Don't go Arnie Slot for that. So I'm probably giving, if you want to talk percentages, I'm giving, about 20-30% to the hierarchy.
Okay, that's fine. 80, 70 on the manager. There's no difference to me between 70 and 90. It's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
For me, it's the same thing.
No,
But
because you
can't tell me.
you're telling me
You're between 75% 70% and 90%. You fucking,
No. It's an extra 20%.
the bulk of the responsibility,
cares?
the bulk of the blame is on the manager.
Nobody
That's all that
cares.
matters.
75% and 90%.
Because you are underestimating the how much of a killer it was not buying Mark Gahey and not buying a left winger and not buying someone in January.
But
You are underestimating that fact.
I'm not. Let me tell you why. If we were sitting here and we're 4 points off of Arsenal, or 5 points off, or 6 points off, and we're in a title race, and you're telling me we're left short, we are in serious trouble, we're not going to be able to compete with Arsenal, that's a completely different conversation. None of us are sitting here thinking we're trying to compete to win the league. So what are you talking about right now? You're telling me the squad depth isn't good enough to finish in 5th place?
No, I've said that 3 times. Nobody's here just to buy Liverpool.
My point is, if we finish in 4th place or in 5th place right now, I'm talking about from right now, nobody's going to be disappointed with that end to the season. The reason I'm saying that is because at this point, people are scared we're not going to finish in those places. So my argument,
and that's why I want a manager change. I agree with you that he's not getting. I agree with you that he's not getting enough out of the squad or the team, whether it's at the start of the season, middle of the season, and right now. I agree with that.
So they're 2 different conversations.
One second. So Asim, 1 second. So
I think you guys, you're saying, okay.
Right.
Go on.
So you're the one that's saying the league's gone a certain way, yeah, and we miscalculated. Who miscalculated? The manager, correct?
And
the manager.
Of course, but no, wait. For a yes man.
1 second. He's the one who's putting the fucking tactics together to say this is how we're gonna go and win a title.
You go.
No?
Carry on.
No,
yes.
Because Asim has been saying a lot that it's on the way the league's gone and it's the manager's fault. Yeah, sorry, the league's gone and we got it wrong. If we got it wrong, then the manager's got it wrong, and the primary blame goes upon the manager. Because if the manager can't see where this league is going, where this league's gone, especially over the last 6 months, then 90% of the blame of where the league's gone and him not spotting it is on the manager then. Because fucking Richard Hughes, they're not tacticians. Michael fucking Edwards is not no tactician to see where the fucking hell this league is gonna go. That is on the manager. The manager's supposed to know.
Of course they are. The data team, you're telling me the data team is not telling the manager that Arsenal scored him 1 million goals in last season.
Okay, so who's
he's not getting that data.
So who's the final decision in terms of the team?
That's why
the manager.
And that's why I'm giving him 70% of the blame.
Well, you're arguing 2 different things. If you're asking me,
and that's why I'm giving him 70% of the blame, and that's why I want a manager change.
Okay, that's fine. But what I'm trying to say to you is more to blame on the manager. Don't just look.
That's why I need 70%.
I believe it's more than 70%. I'll be honest with you personally. Yeah, because I was telling you the problems I was saying get rid of this guy in fucking November, and then nothing's gonna change. I was saying in November, nothing's gonna change. So I believe it was, regardless of what they would have done in this January transfer window, I believe at least 80% was on the manager and 20% was on the board because they didn't give him a right back, a centre back, and a winger.
But you also have to consider the fact that on the negotiation table, Slot doesn't have the veto. So when it comes to recruitment, it's Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards who's got the
20%.
veto.
That's why we gave him 20%.
No, he didn't. He gave him 5%. He said 90% on the manager. 5% on the players and 5% on thingy.
And but what did they give him?
Oh, you and Jake have been going. You've been ranting for an hour. No, let me finish. Let me finish.
No. What did
so
you said?
Why are you going crazy for 5%? You've been calling Michael Hughes, you bloody got hybrid version of the hierarchy in the last 24 hours. What's the point for 5%? Why are you talking about that for? 5%.
Jake, do you know what they give him? Do you know what Michael Hughes gave Arne Slot? The best number 9 in the world. That's what they gave him. One second. Yeah, that's not. He wanted him. They gave him the best number 10 in the world. Well, supposedly going to be the best number 10 in the world. The best fucking left back in the country at that time. They gave him that. They gave him Frimpong. Yeah, who for me look. Let's face it, he's a really good right back. They did give him fucking tools. It's not like don't make it out like he didn't have the tools.
Let me ask you this.
You can't the tools.
Look how much we sold. And we also didn't forget, we didn't consider this season, the guy who gave us an all-timer season, we knew that the guy's going away for a month.
Let me ask
we didn't even plan for that as well.
Let me ask you this. I give you a left winger. Hold on. I give you a left winger. Pick whichever left wing you want. I give you a center back, any center back that you want. I give you a right back or a left back, pick whichever one you want in the entire continent of Europe. We would not be any higher than 6th place right now.
Oh, please,
we
Jay.
wouldn't be.
Oh, that is bullshit. Why do you want to defend it in January then?
Huh?
Why do you want to defend it in January then? What's the point?
Huh?
Go on, Bola Putter. Go on. Why do you want to January? Why do you want to defend it in January? What's the point signing someone? Oh, shoot, Gene. I'm going behind the black ball. I'm going behind the black ball. So you don't come on here and start asking for signings. What's the point? Because we're gonna finish 6th anyway. Go on. You go red.
I'm telling you, because the manager isn't good enough. The manager is not good enough.
Oh, here we go. So don't ever come on here again and ask for signings again. If you can't accept 3 players won't push Liverpool up climb the table, you're speaking out your ass. You are speaking out your ass. If you don't accept, you can be against the manager as much as you want. I want him out. Let me make that clear. But if you can say 3 players won't improve Liverpool and climb them up the table, you're speaking out. It's chatting fucking.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because even when the squad is healthy, we play shit football. We get shit results with shit performances. Even when they're healthy.
Better players, you get better performances.
You're not getting a center back better than Konate. Who are you going to sign in here that's going to start over him?
Oh, no, that's a different point. That's a different point.
No,
bullshit.
It's not.
He's changed the goalposts. He's done it on his slot. He's done it on his slot. He's done it on his slot.
Hold on. I said sign a center back. Wait. I said sign a center back.
Let me finish now. You had your fucking 2-minute
tantrum. What your center back is going to give you is depth, okay? What your center back gives you is depth because he's not starting over Konate. Number 1. Number 2, Konate's been fit the whole season. So he's starting the whole season anyways. And you're still in 6th place. He just started missing games a week ago.
We don't have a right back at the club, a conventional right back.
Since when? Since today.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You don't have a right back since today.
Bradley and Frimpong Gene has been injured all season.
Asim,
Bradley and Frimpong alternately have been injured all season.
No.
Of course they have.
No, that's bullshit. No, that's bullshit. How many games have you started somebody at right back?
You're telling me
Bradley and Frimpong.
Sobo's played at right back many times.
Yeah, because he was injured in there. The player was injured.
There a handful of times.
Injured.
Yeah, Frimpong was injured in Asim.
That's my point, Gene.
Right back. What's your point?
Sobo hasn't played that many games at right back. He played 5 games at right back in the league.
Yeah.
Maybe 5.
Isak, he talked about Isak. We know Isak. We were trying to get fit. But you can't blame the manager for that, for God's sake.
I'm not blaming the manager for that. That's not my point.
The guy can't play. He can't stay fit. That's not my point.
That's not my point. I'm not blaming
because this is talking about squad depth. So if he's going to mention...
Squad depth is not why we're in 6th place. That's my point. Squad depth is not why we're in 6th place.
Oh, okay. We're going to go around in circles.
Okay.
Wait. Asim,
so you're telling me, he said, if we don't buy 3 players, we're going to still, his words. We buy 3 players.
We would still be in 6th place right now. Because squad depth is not why we're in 6th place.
You guys, Gene, you cannot.
No, look.
No. Let me finish.
I agree with you.
You cannot come here and complain. Gene, for the last 3-4 weeks, has said we've had Endo our right back, we've had Gravenberg. He just said it on the show.
Not me.
So you can't talk. And what is that about? That's
I agree. Asim, I never disagreed. Listen, I never disagreed with
say
not
that.
signing 3 players. 1 second. But can I just speak? I agree that if we sign players, because I've been fucking calling for signings, and the reason why I've been calling for signings is because half our team is injured. Yeah, we need fucking squad depth. We need a centre back. We need a fucking winger. We've been calling it. Go and sign them, and hopefully it'll improve us. Why we've been saying go and sign bloody Gay and Semenyo. Why? Because they're 2 positions that need sorting out. I agree with you on that, but I don't agree. In terms of we bought a right back. In terms of the the season that we played, most of our players were okay, fit enough to play. The only player that wasn't really fit enough to play was Alexander Isak. That was really not fit enough to play most of the season. Yeah, if we're honest, he was probably.
Look, Eugene, you have to understand that.
We had a 9 that was fucking. We had Ekatike, who's probably played better than Isak does, if we're honest.
In my opinion, bringing like the likes of Wirtz, Frimpong, brilliant players. You can't blame the manager if Ekatike and Wirtz can't complete 70 minutes.
What does that have to do with anything? That has nothing to do with anything.
Asim, can I just say,
you guys are my point is you can't blame the manager because this is part of the physicality. This is part of the squad depth. So if someone, even if you spend, let me finish. If you spend 80 million, 125 million, he described as number 10 in the world, the best number 9, 100%, we have to include the context. So if you're going to bring those players in, you have to consider the physicality and what the state of that player is. And if you have to give him time, how do you give a player time? You give him support with depth. So you don't have to play him every week. So it is about depth and mentioning the physicality of these players, brilliant players. But that's not Arne Slot's fault that these guys can't complete 70 minutes. Wirtz has to go to the gym and go 2.5 kgs on. That's not his fault.
Asim, if we're fucking talking about players not being can't last 70 minutes in January, yeah. If we're talking about Alexander Isak not being fit in at the start of December,
for me, that's a hierarchy problem.
What sort of players are these, man?
What you're
can't play 1 game a week. We had fucking top players playing 3 times, freaking 35 games, flipping every single week, 3 times a week. They flipping lusted. These guys can't play 70 minutes of football every week.
Oh, hold on. What you're telling me right now is...
Yeah, but that's the reason why Fabinho was finished at 28. Henderson was finished
that's fine. That's why
they were robust, but they're fucked by 28.
That's fine. Then you should shift them out and get the money that you paid for them. Move on.
We played 23 league games right now, okay? 23. What you're basically telling me right now is in hindsight, well, not even in hindsight, because hindsight would be looking at it right now. But in real time, when you go back to any of these 23 games, before the game starts, you're saying, we don't have players good enough to get a result in this game. When you look at the lineup, you're saying, and you look at the bench, our team isn't good enough to get a result in this game on at least a handful of those games over the course of the last 23 games. I have never said that one time. Up until now, if you're
sorry. I was just looking at the comments. Can you just give me that statement again, please?
We played 23 league games.
Yeah.
Your opinion is if you rewind to any of these 23 games, when the team sheet comes out and you look at the starting 11 and you look at the bench,
yeah,
on more than one occasion, your opinion is our team's not good enough today. We are missing players and we don't have a good enough team to either win this game or get a result, whatever the game is. I've never said that one time this season. If you want to argue the way the team is right now with the injuries that we have, we're not suited to getting results, that's fine. That has nothing to do with my point. My point is after 23 games, up until now, our team has been good enough to perform much better than we have. And even if you added players, it wouldn't change the results because the manager hasn't proven that even with the right players, the players that he has, that he's capable of doing anything with them.
I agree with you, but I'm trying to say is I think you're imbalanced in your argument in terms of your the how much blame the club / hierarchy should be
But I just gave you 3 more players, and you're still okay. Let me tell you this: are you telling me we'd be winning the league if I gave you a left winger, a center back, and a right back? Are we winning the league?
Caveat depends who they are, But the way we've been signing people, players, 40, 50 million pounds, this and that, for argument's sake, if we buy, let's say, I don't know, Upamecano, we buy him 6 months. Mark Gahey, for example, Semenyo, Mark Gahey, and give me a midfielder, Lamine Kamara. You're telling me that we're still gonna be in 6th position.
Even if you're not in 6th position.
You're looking at the situation literally. Right? If you see, yes, you're right in terms of Kanate playing, but you do, the manager touched on it, saying, look, you guys don't know what's been going in behind the scenes. I'm paraphrasing, of course. And I do sympathize with that. Is like he might just have to give, like, for example, Rio. We've been giving him 2 days off, for God's sake. This is the understudy that we were told, the bullshit story that we were told. We have to give him 2 days off. 2 days off.
So I counter your point.
That's not the manager's fault.
No, yes, it is. Let me explain to you why.
How is that the manager's fault?
Let me tell you why. If I give you those players, Gahey, Kamara, and who was the other player you took? And Semenyo. Are we competing for a title this season? No, we're not.
Gahey, who else?
Semenyo and Kamara. We're not competing for a title.
I think we are.
That's my point. You might be in 3rd place, you might be in 4th place, you might be in 5th place. It makes no difference.
I think we are. You think Arsenal are unbelievable?
I don't think Arsenal are unbelievable, but they're at the pace right now that we were at last season. There's no fucking way we'd be on that pace up until now.
If we've got about, I haven't seen the table in ages. An extra 3 wins, for God's sake. Those newly promoted teams.
You're not getting an extra 3 wins, is my point.
We be up their ass already.
The reason why you didn't beat.
You're telling me Semenyo, Lamine Kamara, and who else was there? Gahey, Semenyo, Semenyo, Kamara, and Gahey are not worth about 10, 12 points this season.
No, not in 23 games, and I'll explain to you why. You're basically telling me we didn't beat Sunderland, we didn't beat Burnley, and we didn't beat whoever else because we don't have good enough players? So if you add more good enough players, we're going to all of a sudden beat them? That's not why we lost to them.
Okay. But the thing is, if you've got a lack of squad depth, Jake, you've played sport. If
when
you know
have a
there's no
manager that doesn't know what he's doing, these are the results that you get.
If you know their squad depth, why do you think Gakpo and Diaz played really, really well? Because one, Liverpool as a collective had squad depth in that area. As a duo, they gave someone that's what squad depth does as well. Increases the level everywhere.
Okay.
So you are just judging it on as a literal sense that Kanate hasn't got injured this season. So how can you talk about Kanate? Because one, the squad depth gives him the kick up their ass to perform. If I don't perform, I'm going to be on the bench. And two, that if I know there's Rio, a kid, for example, I'm going back to Kakpo, he's been shit for different reasons, of course. I'm just talking about the competition. If I know that I've got a kid and I'm a really good player, Mohamed Salah, for example, Mohamed Salah is a bad example, Kanate. If I know that Gomez can't even stay fit, even after playing no games, that I have to manage my minutes. I have to manage my minutes. I have to manage my intensity levels as well because I've got another 90 minutes to play. So you're thinking Kanate is playing this week, so we haven't got an injury problem. But there's so much context that you're missing that I've just gone on about.
So why are we going to fire the manager? Let's just sign 3 or 4 more players.
Because I've talked about.
So we have the right manager then. No, he's just missing players. So why do you want to fire him?
Because I've talked about the tactics for me this season haven't been good enough. And what your point was is correct in terms of not finding a solution for 40 games, you called it, is not good enough. Losing 9 out of 12 games is unprecedented.
So then why do you think if you had more good players, either the results would be different?
Because in any team, you've just given him credit. He's just won the league. So you can't deny that he's a shit coach all of a sudden. He's a bloody win a week. You can't fluke a league. So you can't go from here to here.
You can. You can. I explained to you how you can earlier on the show. You come in with new tactics, surprise the league, you take the league by storm, and you carry that through the end of the season, which is what happened. But your point, what you're telling me is if you had 3 more good players, whatever players you want that we can get this summer, or even starting in this window now, that the manager's good enough to compete for the title. So why would you fire him?
Because
you can get another manager that can compete for a title when you already have one? Because
I've just told you. For me, the tactics, what Gene made the point of at the end of the day, yes, he doesn't have the veto, but he still has a say in the transfers.
So he's either good enough or he's not good enough. I've been arguing one side the whole time. He's not good enough. You're arguing he is good enough when he has good players.
No, that's not my argument. That's not my argument. I think you're neglecting the hierarchy. I've still given him 70% of the blame. So you can't say, you slot him all of a sudden.
Okay. So this whole conversation started when I said even if you added these players, we would still be in roughly the same position.
No. Don't add a word now. You said put that in 6th position.
It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't fucking make a difference if you're in 6th, 5th, or 4th on January 29th.
No. Don't change the goalposts. You said we'd still be in 6th.
It's the
you
same
are.
thing.
You're doing a slot. You said we'd still be in 6th. Please don't retract your statement.
So are you telling me if you had 2 more points and you were in 5th or 4th place, all of a sudden this is a wonderful season? It's not. You're still shit. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Gene, you're frozen.
You're taking what I said too literally. Whether it's 6th, 5th, or 4th, the point is you're still going to be outside of competing for a title, nearly in the same position on the league table. It doesn't make a difference. Of course, it makes a difference if you're in 6th at the end of the season versus in 5th. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about today, after 23 games, you would still be out of contention is the point. If you want to argue that we would be in contention, then it doesn't make any sense for you to fire the manager.
Gene,
that's the point.
You're frozen. You're frozen, Gene. Let Gene come back. I think we've got some supers. You're on mute now. You're on mute.
Sorry, boys. I had to do a poll. I had to do a poll today. Team Jake or Team Asim, man. I enjoyed that, man.
Listen, that poll is gonna be because I was fighting the guy's corner, who's the whole fan base, including me, wants sacking. So it depends what sort of. No, the poll tonight should be is if we've got Lamine Kamara, Semenyo, and Gehi, are we still 6th in this league? That's what
that's not the argument. The argument is, are we competing for the title? The answer is no.
What a debate. What a debate. Jake, I dare you to leave now. You ain't going nowhere.
Where is this poll? I want to see what this shit says. Where is this thing?
Oh, after 74 votes, Jake's in the lead, boys. Jake's in the lead. Jake, don't worry, I've got 2 burners. I voted for you.
What a debate. He's already looking for the poll. He goes, let me look at this poll. What a debate. Let me quickly run through
some. 50-50 now. Oh.
What is the question, though?
That's what I don't know.
Whose side do you want? Yeah. Jake, I did the question.
If you want team news on Saturday, press me. If you want team news on Saturday, vote me and you'll get it 2 hours early.
Oh, Jake, that's fucking wrong, man. That's wrong, man. That is bad news. Look, now he's winning by 2% just because he said that.
About winning. It's all about winning.
Oh, you know what? I'm fucking glad you're back, man. I tell you. Anyway, Asim, do supers.
Shay goes Team News FC. Banter is fine. All the support in the channel. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, Frimpong in the right back. There's a reason he looks better receiving higher. If Slot wants to progressively mainly from the right hand side, should got to him a better right back. We lack off ball runners profiles. If our big issue, what I would say, and I'm going against the manager, is at the end of the day, he was off the table, Banter. And so if he wants to play this PSG style, and he's been obsessed about this PSG team and how they play, how they press, and how they progress the ball, then with all due respect, that Kirkes was not a Mendes. Frimpong was not a Trent. And yeah, Trent was a unicorn. And you can't buy someone like Trent. But go buy that profile of player then. He might not be as good. So that, I would say, is a manager issue as well. Look, I'm balanced, man. I'm balanced. Eerie Joy, I think with the squad suited to Premier, we can compete. We suit Europe, and Slot has a 75% win percentage there this and last season. Thank you so much for your super chat. Yasser, Jake is right. We should be smoking these teams. Eerie Joy, am I pronounced that wrong? I'm sorry if I am. Not saying he is faultless, by the way. Selection. I needed selection tonight.
Selection just loves you, man. Just the selection.
Asim, you
Bad
wouldn't
news.
disagree. I may say he is the biggest Arnie Slot fan. Jake, what a show, man! What a show! What a show!
We've been going for an hour and 35 minutes. Oh, Jake, right? You know what I'm gonna do, Jake? As soon as hopefully you go, guys, give Jake a couple of walks. As soon as you go ahead, I'm ending the poll.
If you want a snippet, you'll get it in your DMs.
I'm ending the poll, boys. The results are in. Boys, the results are in. I think I've ended it anyway. I hope I have.
My buddy said I would have cancelled the poll backstage. Oh, cheese frozen.
Yeah.
Okay, people, get on the
Jake,
screen. Take care, good night.